Good evening and welcome to draw number 6 of the 2025 Women's Provincial Curling Championship here at the Heather Curling Club in beautiful St. Andrews, New Brunswick. I'm here this evening joined by my co-host from last night, Heather. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back, Stephen.
So here we are, kind of an update of what's happened so far in this tournament. We have the A qualifier. That has been all settled. We have Melissa Adams winning the A division of this event. We then have the B qualifier, which is our featured game tonight here on sheet number 2 between Melissa Adams and Sylvie Quillian. The winner of this will take the B spot in the championship pool, and the loser will live to battle on down in the C division. And speaking of the C division, over on sheets A and C, we have on sheet A, Justine Como versus Sarah Gaines. And over on sheet C, we have Melody Forsyth against Sarah Millay. These games here are rather important. The winner continues their journey on to try to represent New Brunswick at the Scotty Tournament of Hearts. The losers of those two games, unfortunately, their journey towards the Scotties is done. So that's kind of to paint the picture.
So lots of excitement building here tonight because they're closing in on the end of the event and who will represent New Brunswick.
Yeah, and so here we have teams kind of. Well, we had a gathering down here. Teams have just finished their last shot draws. We see the ice technicians and chief umpire Jerry McCann out there. Teams are on the backboards, waiting, ready to go, waiting for Jerry to give the okay to take to the ice. On our sheet, we have Team Adams throwing red stones, Team Quillian throwing blue stones. Again, last shot draws have been done. We're just waiting for the teams to kind of tell us who got what. We don't have any two-way communication with the umpires. And we are here upstairs in the throes of it all, of course, at the Heather Curling Club, in amongst the crowd. It is rather electric. Last night was a packed house. This afternoon was packed. This evening, people are packing the house as well.
We've got 3 layers of chairs over here.
Oh, yeah, 3 layers to the right of us.
Layers.
So we're kind of between sheets A and B, and there's 3 more layers beside us. So these are the games, folks, going on right now. On sheet A, Como Gaines, Como with the red stones, Gaines with the blue stones. Sheet B, Adams with the red stones, Quillian with the blue stones. And sheet C, Forsyth with the red stones, and Millay with the blue stones.
Waiting to see who has the hammer advantage after the draw to the button.
Yeah, that'll be will be quite obvious, of course, with teams easily identifiable by their colorful jackets covered in sponsors. Then we have Vern Lister and his ice crew out there right now taking care of the ice, mopping it up. So the speed's going to be quite quick as that first little bit of layer of frost has been removed from the ice. So the team that had first practice, I've noticed in the 2 draws that I've done, has kind of struggled at the start of the game because the ice conditions have changed so drastically from the time they started to the time that the game actually begins.
Mm-hmm. Little faster speed after the practice?
A little faster, more rocks thrown.
Yes.
And so we do see
all right, the brim's down already.
Team Adams with hammer as
It looks like Team Quillian has got draw weight to start. A nice draw to the almost 8 foot, 12 foot.
Not quite
12.
8 foot.
12.
Top 12.
Yeah, top 12. It looks like the Adams team is looking for a takeout on that stone rather than setting up a guard zone.
No, that first rock slipped in, so they're going to play this tit for tat game, so to speak, of hits.
So run up and down the ice and get a handle on what the ice is doing.
Not only that, but also trying to save some thinking time for later in the game.
For sure, yeah, because the time on these rocks is much less than a draw. But normally, wouldn't you see a guard set up? So that one went too deep to begin with.
Not. It all depends on the skip strategy right at the start.
Mm-hmm. So team preference?
Team preference, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion it's best to have some time in the bank. So by playing these type of shots, you kind of can get some time in the bank for later in the game.
And get a read on the ice and kind of get your feet underneath you,
Correct.
so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I notice a lot of the top teams do this.
Yes.
At the Tournament of Hearts. Yeah. That 38 minutes goes by very quickly.
It can.
Mm-hmm. So far, they're just trading rocks, and in all likelihood, would this end in a blank if they just keep trading rocks?
Yeah, kind of like last night.
Mm-hmm.
The idea for Team Adams is to blank, but if Team Adams kind of blink, or not Team Quillian blinks first and gets a miss, then Adams can jump all over that and try to secure 2. But so far, no misses. Rocks are going up and then are being removed. Kind of like Beauty and the Beast, it's a tale as old as time. So this one here is coming up a little light by the looks of it. Gotta sweep it.
Front of the house, I would say.
Okay, and it does come in. So.
Yeah. Not wasting any time putting the broom down to remove that stone. And this rock needs to curl over a little bit. And it does. Rolls to the outside.
A good stone there by Kayla Russell. And
so now they've got a new path to check out on the outside.
New path. A little bit of uncertainty. You don't normally go this far out in practice.
Mm-hmm. That is hanging out there, so I think that's outside of that. Yep, that's weren't able to save their shooter on that. But where it's the first end, it's not a huge issue.
No,
right?
Absolutely not. Just kind of make that rock go away, figure out what the ice is doing, especially with weight.
And really, in this kind of situation, the team who can read the ice the fastest is, like, if they can get a handle on that, that's really important to do it quickly.
Yes.
As early as possible. So now they're going to the other side, inside out. And the brushers are really taking it. I see what you mean, Stephen, because they're not wasting any thinking time whatsoever here. The brush is going down. The broom is in place.
The broom is down and the throw is gone, and it's within a couple seconds.
Exactly.
And you see kind of instances like that where Jen Armstrong was kind of in the way of uh, Melissa's broom. The clock doesn't start until the throwing player has clear visibility of the skip at the house as well. It's not only when the skip takes over the house, but it's when the thrower has clear visibility. So by blocking that view, you've actually afforded the team to make a decision and be ready to throw quicker and take less time on their clock. So it's rather important if you're spilling off to the sides to make sure you spill off to a side where the skip isn't on.
Mm-hmm. So get out of the way as soon as possible.
Get out of the way
really.
as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get this the wrong spot. There we go. Move that hammer along. So Sylvie with her first.
So Sylvie put her left hand out, Stephen. What is she indicating to her team when she does that?
She doesn't want anybody to touch that. It's just like don't touch it. Don't touch it. It's hot.
So great communication there. If they to let them know, let the mate know, right? To keep the sweepers off that broom, off the rock. So those hand signals are really important,
especially when you have we're fortunate, I guess, in some sense that we have only 3 sheets, so it's rather small. But because it's small, the echo is louder.
Mm-hmm.
So
hard to hear.
Yeah, it literally is an echo chamber out there.
And when you hear everybody calling sweepers on, it can get really loud.
Yes,
really loud.
And a good scrub there by Kendra.
Mm-hmm. Good rock. So both teams will be getting a read on the ice here, even with the opponent's rocks, right?
Correct.
Yeah. What I love about this level of play is that all of the team members are engaged. They know exactly what those rocks are doing.
Yes.
They're all so attentive to what's happening at any given moment.
And that a big scrub from Katie here.
That's curling, yeah.
She does save it.
They did hold it. Good sweep.
I've trained in the gym with Katie.
Mm-hmm.
She is a beast in the gym. She's a beast on the ice. She is athletic through and through.
Very dedicated and yeah. Yeah, some people don't appreciate that if they're not, if they're new to curling, they don't appreciate some of the athleticism involved in the game and how much training there is involved.
It's night and day from what curling was in the 80s and 90s.
Yes, so true. Yeah. And brushing has become such a big part of the game. Yeah.
And can they roll it out for the blank?
And they
get
do.
the blank. Whew. Just like that, end number 1 down and in the books.
And they're happy with that, with the blank.
And after 1 end of play, blank ends, we'll come back for end number 2. And we're back here live at the Women's Provincial Curling Championship, the 2012 Women's Provincial Curling Championship here at the Heather Curling Club in St. Andrews, New Brunswick. Just to let you know as well, coming up in a couple weeks' time on January 29th to February 2nd, we have the 2025 New Brunswick Men's Tankard at the Capital Winter Club, and we will be streaming there live for the entire event for that. So if you're in the Fredericton area and you're looking for something to do, come on down to the Capital Winter Club. And as things continue on here, we see Katie Vandenboer, her first stone. Looks like the sweepers are going to carry that one in. Just to the top 12. And wasting no time, Melissa looking to remove that stone with Kendra Lister's stone.
They're constantly communicating with one another all the way from the time of release right through to contact with that rock, which is now out of bounds. So
yeah, the quiet team doesn't win. It's the team that is constantly positively communicating with each other.
And with 10 ends, Stephen, this is a really intense game to play, and there's so much at stake, of course, for them. And it takes a lot of mental energy to play this game, as well as physical energy.
As those extra 2 ends are brutal. With that stone slipping to the back 4, Melissa is opting to throw the corner guard. Taking advantage and kind of saying, you know what, I'm going to use that back stone in the house as a guard.
So stones in the house can be used to curl behind or down to. You could freeze to them and try to generate points that way, or utilize your guard depending on the circumstances or what you're faced with.
That one just coming up a little shy, but it is in the town of St. Andrews crest.
And that's a very long guard. Really long.
Very, very long guard. Probably not all that effective, to be completely honest, where it's at. That one needed to be kind of down closer to the Curling NB logo. Our brand new logo, of course.
And so the Quillian team is trying to put another one in place in front of their shot stone. And that one's going, looks like it's going in the house. They need it to curl over, but it finished pretty well. However, does that leave them a double?
It does leave them a double, and that is the call. They are going to try to remove that stone. both those stones, but I think they're only going to get one.
Ah, yeah. And the shooter rolls out. And so they're just going to replace that, except they'll put it out front a little further away.
They're just going to try to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
With Aaron Carmody's last stone, trying to get it over just on the other side of the center line. Trying to carve it over.
Oh, nice rock. Yeah, beautifully done. Might be a piece of shot rock showing there.
There's probably about a third of it showing.
Yeah.
And a big scrub from Kendra. That's coming right down to the nose. And well executed shot by the sweepers and the skip with line call. Well thrown shot by Kayla Russell.
Now, would she have been looking for a little inside roll on that one?
That would have been the added bonus, yes.
Mm-hmm. But first things first?
First things first, make that stone disappear.
Yeah.
So
they're going to follow that down.
They're going to try to do the exact same thing, only better, and get the inside flop this time.
So this needs to curl. It's coming now, but I'm going to try to do some directional sweeping for it. But it's hanging out on the outside there. So. Looking for the hit and roll.
So, of course, different side throwing. The first hit that was made was done by somebody who was a lefty. That was done by a righty. That all plays into it, how the stone is released and how it reacts down the line of delivery. So Jacqueline Crandall here with her first stone of the second end.
And so those are details that are really important for everybody to be watching with a left-handed thrower versus a right-handed thrower.
It's a lot like baseball.
Is it?
Oh, very much so. Just especially with the different, like the clockwise and counterclockwise rotations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
A right-hander's counterclockwise rotation will stay straighter than the left-hander's counterclockwise rotation, because to one person it's the out turn, the other person it's the in turn.
Precisely, yeah. So that just is a nose hit. That one did not come over for them, even with the directional sweeping.
And as the weight goes up, the directional sweeping is less effective.
Mm-hmm.
Especially later as the rock travels down. The sweeping affects it more so on a hit like this, more at the start, at the release, in that first 3 to 8 feet, and then for draw guard type weight, it's the reverse. It's kind of towards the end.
This one's looking good. You might have a little roll out of this one.
And it just rolls open, half open or so.
So there'll be
3/4.
Taking a different turn coming on the other side now.
Yep, that down a different
path. Mm-hmm. Both teams trying to use the center guard to their advantage, trying to get their rocks in position. And in this case, we've got Team Adams with the hammer, so they really want to pick up 2.
They would definitely like to pick up 2 here, and score in the even end.
That needs to stay this side of center line. It looks like it might be all over that guard. So now an opportunity for Team Adams.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate miss. So, and two, with that, as it lands, all of a sudden you kind of have a double guard on that left-hand side.
Mm-hmm. Because they are a little bit staggered. And of course that in all likelihood happened because they went to the other side of the ice after having thrown many rocks on one side. They had to go to a new path.
Yeah, the new path would have been.
Yeah.
And then too, still figuring out the rocks a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is draw 6, so you should have a good idea of what they're doing. But sometimes you get that rock where it might be a cutter, it might not be, depending on how you throw it or who threw it, or so. Melissa just trying to draw a top 12.
Stay in front of the house. They'd love it to curl more.
Don't think they want to touch it.
No.
I think this one, did they overcook it?
No, it stays in the back 12, but it is buried. Mm-hmm. Sorry. So now, Stephen, what would be the strategy here? Would they follow that one down?
They're playing the hit and roll, so they're trying to. So the adage is you hit against 2, you draw against 3.
Okay.
So, not having last stone, you're trying the hit and roll, in behind kind of the cover, kind of over to the 8 foot a little bit if you can, in the hopes that if the opposing team does choose to hit, it jams on the one in the back or something like that. Just try to make the final hit a little more difficult.
So in this case, what you leave is important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
so that's curling.
Jen frantically calling them on.
Yeah.
So
you might get a smidge of a roll there, but not as much as they were hoping for sure.
No.
Yeah. And we're down to last rock now, so Melissa Adams just needs to make that go away.
She needs to stick around. This is where you have to stay around. It is a missed opportunity if you roll out. When you have hammer, you'd like to score 2 and convert with it. There is a whole stat package of what you do and stuff like that.
So she wants her deuce right now to put on the scoreboard with hammer. They're on it early. Gonna hold it. Yeah, it looks like she's got it. Very nice.
All that panic and sweeping, and what do you got? You got your 2 points. So after 2 ends of play and what looked like it could have been a blank end here in 2 turns into a deuce and hammer conversion for Team Adams. Coming up next, we'll have end number 3 right after this. And good evening and welcome back to the 2025 Women's Provincial Curling Championship. We are here at draw number 6 at the Heather Curling Club in beautiful St. Andrews, New Brunswick. Our featured game tonight is Melissa Adams versus Sylvie Quillian. This is, of course, the B qualifier final. Team Adams has already gone through the A qualifier. So this will start to shape up a little bit of the playoff picture and what happens there at the end of this game. So Kendra's Rock coming into the top 12. Sylvie getting Katie to hit that stone right away. So still a lot of defensive play by both these teams. Not keeping a lot of rocks in play at the moment. And that can be a good thing because these rocks are traveling up and down the ice really quick. And there's not a lot of sweeping involved in some of these shots. It does preserve the pebble, so it doesn't break down. So we should have a very consistent ice surface for the entire game. Not that we haven't seen that already. The ice techs here have done a phenomenal job getting this ice and stones up to par for what the players will see at a national event. And so Sylvie choosing to ignore that stone and opting to throw the corner guard. So kind of employing the same strategy that we saw last end. They've got a hit and a hit and then, or a draw and a hit, and then all of a sudden the corner guard goes up.
Are you hearing anything, Stephen, about the ice from the players? Any feedback?
I haven't gone down to talk to them. I do know the chief ice technician here this weekend, Vern Lister. He's spoke to him a little bit, just kind of said hi, and he's meticulously going over every detail, preparing each draw for these players.
Yeah, we teased Vern a little bit about that. He's so dedicated that we were wondering if he has a little cot here to sleep overnight.
a full Shorty Jenkins. Shorty Jenkins used to do that.
He's up here at the crack of dawn. Even if the game doesn't start until 2:30, he's on it. Yeah. Trying to make both of those go away if they can, but it looks like just the one.
Going to get to the nose.
Yeah. And that is curling. They're trying very hard to hold that. Yeah. And that's how quickly an end can change with a shot like that.
Yeah. But it didn't end in too bad of a spot.
No.
The red stone does stay shot stone. The blue one does go to the very back. Ideally, of course, yes, you would have liked to have removed all those, the blue stone.
I think the rock over curled, or
It probably did. Probably,
didn't.
I'm not sure if it was enough ice or if it was the weight call.
Mm-hmm. And the ice is weight sensitive, so
So if you
really do need to. Looks like they're going to utilize that corner guard and come down to the red stone. Draw down to it.
They're going to try. I think this one's kind of giving up the ghost on them.
A little bit light. Not quite what they had in mind. Makes for a more interesting game, though, when we have
rocks in play.
Yeah.
And yes, and it is very. It is an entertaining game for the fans. It's a very stressful game for the players.
Although if you watch the players, they don't they look fearless
Yes.
to me.
Yes.
I look at them and think, oh my goodness.
Well, they can't show any fear, because if they show any fear or any side of emotion, the other team will see it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And will feed off it. And that's what I tell a lot of the juniors that play up in the men's division at my home club.
Mm-hmm. Stay confident.
Stay confident.
Mm-hmm.
Stand tall. Chest out. Be proud of your team. Because it's not just the opposing team, but your team feeds off it as well. If your shoulders are slouched and you're huffing and puffing and going on, then at the end of the day, you're going to bring down your own team's morale.
Absolutely. So they really need to be working together always to try to make sure that everybody's feeling upbeat. Even if there is a missed shot, they need to somehow, bounce back from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how much training would these teams get, or how much, I mean, I hear about things at the national level where they might have somebody who comes in to work with teams about their mental strength in a game. And do our teams at this level have any of that
yes,
training?
They many of them do have access to a sports psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that unfortunately the teams do have to pay out of pocket, so to speak. So that's why they have the sponsors on their jackets to help kind of cover some of those costs, as well as their travel and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of the upper echelon teams do have I'll say have a sports psychologist on retainer.
Mm-hmm. Sort of an extended team with a physio or physio or a sports psychologist, as well as your coach. And well, it's so important to have the sponsors.
It very much is. Will this one catch the one in the back?
It does.
Will it spill it out? Or will we just replacing it in a different area? Replacing it in a different area. But we do have 2 redstones in the house for Team Adams that Sylvie does have to deal with.
And Team Adams does not have a hammer, but it looks like they are sitting 1 and 2 at the moment. I'm going to have a look. It's a little pressure on Team Quillian here.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure, but I mean, Sylvie's been here before. Katie's been here before. Aaron's been here before. They've all been here before. They all know this.
Now they're trying to freeze to that stone, that red stone.
They are trying to freeze to the red.
The line is looking great.
So
It's a question of weight at this point.
I think the weight's fine. They don't want to move it too far.
Don't want separation?
No. There's a little bit there, but not a lot. I don't think you can. Well, you could pick it out there without disturbing it, but
That's a trick shot. We call those trick shots.
For me, yeah. Oh, or that's an oops. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. And it looks like they're going after it. Wow. These are exciting shots when they
They're looking at the hit and stick, the hit and flop. They do want to stay in front of that blue stone somehow. And see, this discussion right here is eating up a lot of that thinking time, and that's why it's important in that first end to really breeze through it.
Yeah. To preserve some time.
To preserve some time, because we're probably right now eating into about 20 seconds of it.
Right. Now, whose responsibility, Stephen, is it on the team, or is there any given person on the team who's responsible for keeping an eye on the clock?
It's usually someone on the team. It can be either the lead or the second, especially coming down to the skip stones to yell down and tell them, hurry up, make up your mind, pick a shot and go, because you're eating into our time. But oftentimes, the skips are kind of in tune with what's going on for time, and they know how much they can use.
They're not brushing that at all. Now they are.
Now Kayla's all over it.
Yep, both of them now. And that did curl a bit. Perhaps not the result they wanted.
No, that is not. They wanted to stay in front or just on the corner.
So that was a really precise shot. They had to hit that in a very specific place in order
Correct.
to really make that shot.
So Sylvie with her opportunity now to
Sit
convert.
too?
And to convert with hammer.
And only a few rocks ago, the opposing team was sitting two. So how quickly it can change? Brushers are on it right away, trying to hold it. I think it's okay, though. It is curling, but I think it's going to be all right. Oh.
And that snapped on them right there
Yeah,
at the
it
end.
did. They're
Does
hoping it doesn't
around?
roll too far.
No, it stuck around. It was good for two.
Good for two.
It's good for two. It was half in, half out, and the red stone that it was close to was just full 12. So the teams are going to discuss kind of what happened. I know Melissa and Jacqueline discussed what happened on her last shot, so this is kind of what went well, what didn't go well, and we talk about as well in the coaching world, as I'm in the process of doing all that. Um, and now I'm embarrassing myself because it's been a hot minute. Uh, I use the red yellow green type approach. So red is defensive, green is offensive,
Hmm.
and yellow is like I really don't know where I want to go yet.
I know when I was coaching, I would do the what worked well and let's pick one thing to work on instead of throwing so many things at the athletes. Just try to focus on we could do more than one thing that they did well, certainly, because that always made everybody feel wonderful. But then to just say, okay, well, rather than picking many things that they needed to work on all at once, to focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah, and that really helps in the off off competition type event.
Mhm.
Like um, it might be you struggle with your weight control, you struggle with your release, you struggle with your timing, stuff like that. Not, teams today. We have teams here all kind of, we're streaming live here on sheet two, or on sheet B. We've got teams on sheet A and C that are also streaming their games, and they're going back and they're watching this video replay.
I see that they're recording their games, and so that after the event, they will go back and have a look at those games and um, see where they needed to improve or what they could do differently.
And not necessarily what they could do differently. Sometimes things just get out of hand, and the coach will make a note in his notebook or in their
Hmm.
notebook
Hmm.
and say, we got out of hand, we lost our 2 points. Why,
Hmm.
and go back and kind of, this happened and then this happened, and then it kind of, like a snowball going down the hill, it just got builds bigger and bigger and bigger to finally where a big score happens,
Hmm.
or you've completely abandoned strategy.
So they can learn from that.
Learn from that, yeah.
Yeah.
But in between ends, you're not trying to fix anything. You're more so discussing what went well, what
Hmm.
didn't go well, and then choosing a strategy to begin the next end with. Sometimes you have to abandon it, and you got to know when to abandon it.
Hmm.
Um, and that one coming in nice and
That was a very nice rock, and it's in front of the tee line. And the red rock is behind the tee line, back button. And they've got a center line guard out there, so they're utilizing that. Both teams are trying to take advantage of that guard. This one is hanging out there. It needs to curl. I think it'll come back, though. It does have a late finish. There it comes.
and Kayla
No,
trying to get to the inside corner of this,
they're
right there.
beauty. Very nice. Happy with that. So they're working very hard at rock positioning here and trying to get the advantage. That's what makes this game so interesting is so you've got rocks in front of the tee line, but you also have them behind the tee line, but they can come back to either help you or haunt you, right?
Absolutely.
It's really, I think that's one of the coolest things about the game is that there's so many aspects of so many things going on at once that I find very fascinating.
Just trying to get this on the corner.
And it's a little light, but
No,
close.
right,
Yeah, no, that
right,
finished well.
right where they wanted
Yeah,
it.
that was well judged, I think.
Well managed indeed.
Yeah.
So
Credit to the sweepers.
trying to play back house weight on that. clicking the wrong button to make
So
the stone go away.
is Team Adams trying to bump theirs
Trying to
into the
get
blue?
it over. Get it over. Get it over.
Mm.
No.
No.
Now.
That just hung out there for them, didn't it?
And we get some discussion.
Oh, somebody may have moved the rock inadvertently, maybe?
I think so. We
Yeah.
had the team as it was going by and trying to move it over. I think the broom might have hit the redstone.
So my thought here is that they're trying to draw down to the red at the back of the button. They can get by, or are they putting up a guard? Looks like it's light.
They're trying to set up a guard, trying to block this angle, which they do a fabulous job. They needed some help, though.
To block that draw path?
To block the draw path, yep.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like Team Adams is thinking they need to clear out the center line guards.
If you throw the peel, it clears the guards away.
And hopefully the shooter doesn't stay
in place, yes.
So this is it's a big rock. This is really important. And it's rolling out, so.
And the blue rolls over for a bit of a corner guard, clears open that path.
That was a nice shot.
It was. If you hit it a little thinner, you might have had a redirection of that blue stone onto the red stone in the house, but.
And that was quiet wait, relatively quiet wait for that. Wasn't like, super fast, or didn't look to me like peel wait per se.
No, that was probably peel wait.
Was it peel?
Yeah. Yeah, probably
just
about
quiet.
8.5 seconds.
And they're putting another guard in place.
How do you want to run this in? That's really what Melissa's trying to think. I mean, she can get to the inside of that with weight, or that corner with weight, but I don't know if that does her any good, because the shooter's going to roll out and that rock will roll open, I think.
And what about a setup shot? Should she be considering that?
She's trying to position herself now to score 2.
Mm-hmm.
So setup shots are kind of gone.
Mm. It's getting late in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she has hammers, so Team Adams really wants to score 2 here, and it doesn't look like the blank would be in play with right now, anyway.
So big brush from Kayla.
Try to hold that.
Peeling a guard's not bad here, but gotta make contact. Miss one. That was my fear, is that redstone would stick around, and now it's just an easy double. You've shown her how to get through the hole, so.
So they went to school on that last shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Trying to get it to curl a bit by that guard. Ooh. Oh dear. Oh no.
And that is one way to do that, I guess. And of course, Melissa's standing there. I had a plan if they made the shot,
Yes.
and now I don't have a plan because they made the shot. They made the shot better than I was anticipating,
So
and I can't figure out what I want to do.
They have to rethink it now. They have to sort of figure out
And
how to react to that last shot.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think they're right. They just got to play with weight on this one.
And even if they, if Team Adams loses their red in the process, that's not terrible, is it?
No,
Yeah.
losing that one in the back of the house is probably the best thing for you.
Yeah.
I just don't know where that blue's going to spring to. That's the only thing. Does it spring through the hole to the left, or does it spring off one of the red ones, or does it jam perfectly on a red one?
So ideally, where do you think she needs to hit the blue?
She needs to hit it. Well, if they're planning the rock to stick around, they need to hit probably about a quarter of it.
Mm-hmm. This is a really big shot. Yeah, they're not touching it at all.
Not yet.
Oh,
it is
there
close.
They are. Yeah. Oh my, what an outstanding shot that was.
And it does sit around. Okay. So
Well done.
that was a 4 out of 4 on the stats card.
And they're sitting 1, 2, and 3 with hammer.
They are all behind the tee line though.
They are. One is pretty close to the tee line here. But they're spread out too, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, even though they're behind the tee line. Can't get them all, so to speak.
Nope.
But it looks like there is a double. Is there a double here with this? Is that what she's trying to do next?
There is the double opportunity. It's a thin one, but it is there.
Knowing what you know about the team, will they try it?
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Risk reward thing.
Very much so.
So this is all about the line here. Oh yeah. Yeah. You can see she's getting right down to have a good look at it.
And a big brush.
She's hoping
Katie,
that.
Trying to get it to sit right on top.
Nice shot. Very nice shot. So even though it wasn't a double, it's still the result. The end result is really
The end
great.
result's better than.
Beauty. Think she's happy with that. Now she's going to try to hit this on the outside.
Yep, trying to hit it on the outside. The thinner, the better, so it doesn't jam on the red on the far right.
Mm-hmm.
This looks good. I guess there was no jam there at all. That was just me being paranoid.
So even though they've lost their rock, they're still sitting number one and number two.
Yeah.
With hammer, with last skip stones to come, so that's not a bad position to be in.
No, it forces Team Quillian to make a shot.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, if you're Team Quillian, you're hoping to hit and roll over.
You're looking to hit and roll, basically do what she did in her first shot, but just roll a lot further.
You're right. Over towards the other red stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's taking her time. Oh, yeah. And this is curling. Really hard to hang on to it, but they're hoping, definitely getting it. And
does it go over? No, it goes under.
Goes under.
Just a little too thin.
Yeah. So now we've got a draw for two. Close game, though.
Both teams just kind of on that wrong side of the inch the last couple ends coming down to the wire, but
yeah,
when you can kind of rebound from it this quickly like that shows the depth of the team and the skill set. Jacqueline just wanting a clean if they're. This needs to get into the 12 foot.
Full 12 and
8 foot.
beautiful
foot.
rock. Very nice
Touches
draw.
the
Top button. That was 15-2.
15-2. Wow,
yeah.
That's speed on this ice is really quick today.
It is.
And so with that, change the hammer. We'll go to commercial. We'll be right back. Good evening and welcome back to the 2025 Women's Provincial Curling Championship here at the Heather Curling Club in beautiful St. Andrews, New Brunswick. We are featuring tonight the B final between Melissa Adams and Sylvie Quillian. Adams of the Capital Winter Club and Quillian of Curl Moncton. Team Adams took 2, converting on their hammer, gave up 2, and then have bounced back to score 2 again with hammer. So we see them drawing 1 in for their first stone, and Sylvie responding with a hit. And this one over curling, but it does make good contact and spill the blue out. So Sylvie changing up strategy, opting to throw the corner guard.
It is curling quite a bit over to the corner.
Would have liked to have that a little closer to the center line, but not too bad.
Yeah.
So Kayla Russell with her first. Being a second, you're generally called upon to throw the hits and the peels.
So this is a draw.
And this is going to be a guard right to the top.
15-2 on this one as well. So draw weight. He's draw weight. And they're choosing to ignore that and go in behind their guard and utilize their guard by the looks of things.
Playing the hit.
Oh, they are playing the hit.
Oh,
she
yes.
put her broom over behind the guard. I thought they were calling the...
playing the hit and roll.
Oh, hit and roll.
But I think this is going to over curl on them.
It is curling. Don't think it's going to roll much. Just a bit. Not much. But the idea might be to try to draw a play over into that side so that guard could be utilized.
Make the roll a little shorter. Absolutely.
Yes. Keep moving in that direction.
I'm in 360.
And Stephen, both teams could utilize that guard if they need to. It's maybe not ideal to use an opponent's guard for a run back. If you think about the run backs, right?
And you're right. Both teams can use it.
Mm-hmm.
If you are Team Adams, you're ultimately trying to force the other team to one. And by using that guard, you kind of give the team the opportunity to draw to it and stuff like that. So you want to keep your stone more so away from that, preventing the possibility of that play being drawn over there.
So play is moving to the other side of the house right now. And that is curling. They're trying really hard to hold that, and it looks like it may go by. I think they're going to get a flash here. Oh, just a piece.
Just catches it.
Yeah.
Doesn't catch enough of it, though.
That moved on them. That really curled for them, despite the brushers. So now we're way over on the other side.
And Melissa not wanting a multiple scores scored on her.
Mm-hmm.
She's
drawing down to it?
No, she's removing that guard.
Oh, the guard. Oh, of course. Yes.
that
Job
one,
done,
and
but hopefully it misses their own. Oh no!
It'll go across the top,
Oh,
and just like that,
that's unfortunate, but that's okay.
I think that's out. My
I think
camera
so.
says that's out.
Awfully close, but they're having a good look. I guess they've decided it is out.
So good.
Yeah,
good
mission
outcome.
accomplished. Looking for another guard this time?
Trying to get a little tighter. So, and the idea with that one is that if the peel is missed, they can draw one in behind it, and then potentially split it on later on for 2 or 3. But
that's a finesse shot.
Very much a finesse shot. So Melissa going for the peel.
And that is curling, but they're keeping it. I think they're okay. They're not going to, the shooter stays. Yeah.
And it stays. It's not a great outcome.
Yeah, they would rather have had it roll away.
They would have, but the stone does sit there, and it is their stone that the opposing team is trying to draw behind.
So they're going to use that stone as to curl in behind, even if it isn't their stone, and just risk the run back. And with the amount of curl, even with the up weight on the ice, it's a risk we're taking, I'm guessing, for them.
Yes. Got to score your multiple somehow.
Yes. So that was nicely thrown, and it does settle in right behind that guard.
And it is a simple, easy run back.
Run back, yeah.
And I say simple and easy. Simple and easy for this level.
Well, these are bread and butter shots for them, right?
Well, actually, it can be. I said that this is just a nose hit. Is how you got to think of it.
And then you have your own guard in front, sitting there in front.
Yep.
Remove the opponent's stone, and you're sitting shot.
Right.
Which is a nice position to be in without hammer. Not taking a lot of ice for this, so not counting on a lot of curl. Keeping an eye on it. Looks like it's hanging a bit. It's going to hit it on the outside, the guard. So they've removed their own
guard,
stone. Yeah.
That's
not a bad result, is it?
It is and it isn't. It's a case of you've gripped it and ripped it, so to speak.
So in this case, the Quillian team is responding with a draw to the other side of the house. Is that what's happening here?
Trying to split everything up, yeah.
Yes, and they want some separation to avoid a double. So with that ice, I'm thinking that's going to be into the 12-foot on the other side. That is curling.
As long as it keeps moving.
Just need to get it there, and just needs to settle down. Beautifully thrown rock. Very nice. They look to be quite even. Fairly even.
Barely even. There's no crosshouse double that can be made. So
Yeah, that was a well thrown rock.
playing the nose hit here on this blue stone.
So if Team Adams can remove this rock and keep their shooter in play, then the force is on in this case.
No,
No,
no. There's no force because
you think they're going to score 2?
because they're going to be able to score 2.
They
so,
have last rock. Yeah. So this has to hit and stay.
Yeah. So
And that's not that looks like the same ice as the last one that curled up. So this one looks good.
curl, 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 as Jen said, and it curled right up to the nose. Oops.
Big sigh of relief there.
Yes, very big sigh of relief there for the Quillian team. And just like that, through 5 ends of play, we are all tied up. 4-4 apiece. Definitely expect to see that from these two teams. These two teams met in the A qualifier, and it was a tight battle there. Now here in B, again, another tight battle. Probably we'll see a few more of these close ends before we get to the end of this. So with that, while the teams take a food and water break, so will we. We'll come back here in about 4.5 minutes or less. Good evening and welcome back as we begin end number 6 here at the 2025 Women's Provincial Curling Championship. We saw this has been kind of a rubber match, back and forth, back and forth. No one's taking a clear control lead. So that was supposed to be a guard for Kendra Lister, and it slipped a little bit into the house. So Team Quillian is chasing it right away.
That is hanging out there. Oh. Unable to take advantage of that rock.
Now opting to draw to the other side and get 2 red stones in play.
And they do have hammers, so this end, so.
Actually, they're playing the hit, judging by the speed that Kendra just came out with.
Maybe hoping for a little roll?
Oh yes, need a roll. Would like a little bit of more roll, but that's not bad.
It's still a good location for that rock, eh?
It's going to hit and roll across the top and out.
Actually, because of the camera angle, you can't really tell. They're going around for a second time, so.
Are they indicating that the weight's up? In this case, it looks a little hot. Yeah, and it is. Yeah, another missed opportunity. That was a 13-second rock.
So,
Right through.
a little too heavy.
Yeah.
We had a big measure over on sheet A. Team Gaines was sitting 3, possibly 4. After 2.5 attempts, it looks like it was only for 3, so they do take a 6-3 lead at the break. Over back on our sheet. So we've been playing hit for hit here again.
And if this continues, Stephen, they will likely try to blank the end.
If it
your team
continues with
has?
this 1 stone, yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And then that goes out, touches the line. So trying to get the corner guard going, trying to get some offense going.
It's looking a little hot as well. That needs to settle. Looks like it's going to be in the house. Little hot. Yeah, not quite what they had in mind.
No, it looks like everybody this end has a bit of the heavies, and they did come out and they did mop the ice between during the break. It does I don't know why, but it does seem to speed the ice up just a little bit,
So they really have to make that adjustment after the fifth end break.
it's a struggle sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And so what we're seeing in this end is a lot of missed shots. That wasn't terrible. The shot stone is staying in play in this case, but now they've moved the play way over onto the
Way over the edge. Oh, and they're going to do an inside out instead.
ooh. So we haven't seen too many of these. And the sweepers are on it right away. It is curling. I think it's going to be all right, though. And a little roll.
And roll to the inside.
Nice shot.
So Sylvie with her first shot here of the sixth end. She's already saying it's more.
Mm.
As long as she's
trying to make
close,
it
it should be
curl.
okay.
Is she hoping to hit and stick?
Yep.
Yeah. And she does.
I saw on Sylvie's face as she slid out a little bit of a grimace, so she knew she was heavy as she was sliding out.
She indicated to her team too, I think, with her hand to let them know that she thought the weight was up. Well, to her mate.
Yeah.
Her mate would have caught that signal. You're just cleaning this one, so.
Haven't really touched it yet.
Oh, they're trying some directional sweeping here. And that is going to roll out. So if you're Team Adams at this point, are you looking for the blank then? Because you're not going to be down to skip stones and
Down to skip stones. You're not going to score your 2, so you're
No.
not going to convert with hammer. That's the big thing is the hammer conversion.
and then just be really patient
Yep.
as you play through to the next end.
So this is going to be interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
It's always interesting. It doesn't matter if it's the lead or the skip or the third or the second. You just throw in a hit, and now you're being asked to throw a draw. Can you make that adjustment in the and get it the rock where it needs to go? Oftentimes, you'll make the adjustment, but you won't make enough of the adjustment, or you over adjust and you throw the rock too light.
This looks good. I think it's all there. I think they're happy with it.
Haven't really put a brush to it, but they're
No.
not really like screaming, "Don't touch it." So back to a dangerous spot for. Well, no, not really. If this was a hit for 2, I would say it was a dangerous spot. But they're trying to get the rollout, so it's a fairly easy rollout because the distance to the back of the house is not that far.
So they need to hit this on the side of the broom and then roll out, and then they'll keep hammer in the next end, and then they'll try to set up for their deuce in the next end.
Yeah.
Does need to. No,
And
they're
a
holding
big
the
brush
line.
out of Kendra right now.
They are trying to hold the line. They don't want a nose hit. I think it's going to be okay.
They do
No, they
unfortunately
didn't.
get the nose.
Oh, when she put her hand up, I thought maybe she was all right, but that's not quite what they were wanting to do.
It is not quite what they wanted. It's not end of the world because it is the sixth end.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got, you're maintaining hammer now in an even end of play, theoretically, of course. So as we move to end number 7, the teams are conferring off the ice, and we'll take this opportunity for
Are we back on? No.
Good evening and welcome back to the 2025 Women's Provincial Curling Championship here at the Heather Curling Club in beautiful St. Andrews, New Brunswick. Our featured lineup or game tonight is Team Melissa Adams versus Team Sylvie Quillian. Adams of Capital Winter Club and Quillian of Curl Moncton. Adams currently has a 5-4 lead. It's been a battle of heavyweights trading blows back and forth. And so as the game goes on, we're here in the 7th. My co-host here, Heather, tonight has asked, what would we do if you don't have hammer? And my response is try to steal, try to go up 2. And of course, this and Sylvie's goal is to score 2 or more. Emphasis on the more, that way she kind of widens the gap.
And so we just saw a 16-second draw in behind the red guard. And they played that 2 ends ago, that very same shot. So they knew the line, I think, and it was the sweepers pulled that in, and it finished beautifully for them directly behind that garden. It looks like the Adams team is trying to draw behind the Quinlan Rock, and they're just by.
Does draw to the back 4. So played it a little too cute to the blue one, and as a result, came out and sticking out in the back.
Over curled, really, didn't it?
And they're gonna play some bumper weight, so backboard weight here.
You can see half the rocks, so. So quiet weight. My feeling with this, though, is they have to stay on that because of the late finish in the curl.
This one's actually going to over curl on them.
Yeah, and it's onto their blue rock. Yeah.
A little light.
That said, though, Stephen, if you look at those 2 blue rocks, and they may not be there in a minute, but if you look at that blue rock that they just threw, if it's not removed, that's a dangerous rock. Team Adams.
Very, very dangerous. So
yeah,
Melissa's looking at it here. Play the hit and roll. See her kind of indicating, you know, underneath the Toyota emblem, kind of stomach weight. So that's seems to be the universal sign for what they call a control weight hit. So about 10 to 10.5 seconds, hog to hog.
And this is curling on them. This is on the red out
so
front.
It's all over the front.
Yeah. That looked to me like it might have been a little inside. Do you think?
It probably could have been.
Or just a weight call, maybe.
Well, usually if it's a weight, you'll indicate that to the player that it was a weight call, just that way they know that they were on line. If it's a line call, you'll usually tell the third going down that they were a little like just tell them they were a little inside, like it, or they did something with their release.
Yes. That makes a big difference.
So rather than have that full conversation over the span of about 172 feet.
Yeah. So now exactly what they were hoping to avoid is going to happen with if they can make contact with that blue rock just slightly off center, right onto that red. So the sitting 3 now, the Quinlan team. In a bit of a pickle, would you say?
Not yet.
Not yet.
All those blue stones are accessible.
Lots of handle on this.
That concerns me.
Trying to release.
Okay.
So
the call was the double.
Yeah.
And it was the grip and rip, and that one didn't roll back into the house. So that is a lucky break that they were able to catch something as it went through.
Yeah, shot rock is exposed, but
and of course that extra rotation and all that stuff as well could have happened because of the outcome of the previous shot. So
so now they're going to put another one in the house and put it over on the wings and try to separate the 3, because as you mentioned earlier, they really want to try to score 2 or more, and this end with hammer. So if you're Team Adams, what are you thinking right now? What do you need to do facing 3? Going after shot rock, or looks like they're going after.
They're trying to do the hit and roll. They were trying to roll to the far side.
Yeah. And sit in front, and that rock could be promoted.
Yep. So Sylvie not wasting any time.
Mm-hmm. Knows exactly what she needs to do. In this case, she's trying to hit that on one side or the other to make it go away, but not jam on her own rock. Trying to hold that from curling. And then that sticks around. Nice rock.
Shot called, shot made. It's just that simple.
Really nice.
Roll this one over and roll it under.
But they really would love it to be second stone. Am I right about that? If they could, ideally.
Yeah, no, it is second stone.
Yeah, it is.
So, but now it's going to be tough for them to remove it because it would group a bunch of blue stones together. So,
But with that ice, it looks like they're coming down to it.
yeah,
Did you say? And this is curling already. It is moving. Trying to hold back and forth
back
there.
and forth, yeah.
I think it's by. I think they've got a
It's
nice
like,
shot.
It's like a joystick, and they are playing bumper weight, so they
Yeah.
do group them together.
So they're hoping for a hit and roll on the next shot. We're down to, we've got skip stones happening here as we near the end of this end. So Team Adams facing 3. You're taking a few minutes to sort of think about this and figure out where exactly they want it. It looks like they want to hit and roll over in front of shot stone. This is a really precise shot.
Very precise.
She's not taking a lot of ice, Stephen. What do you think? Where does she need to hit that?
She probably needs to hit about a quarter of it.
Mm-hmm. And they're not getting the rollover to center.
But
However,
they'll get it that way.
They did.
Does it roll? Does it roll out?
Oh, I don't
No,
think
it doesn't
so.
go enough.
No. I didn't see that call. I thought they were looking for the hit and roll. But that makes more sense to me that they would try to get them both out.
Well, that the hit and roll was the
call?
Was the call.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't curl up like they had thought it would.
So, you know, as they're traveling down the ice and as they see the rock traveling down the ice, they have to sort of make a decision about what has to happen next. Whether they need brushers or going to plan B.
Correct.
difference between the games that our feature game on sheet B and sheet A. They have many rocks in play. So Team Quinlan's looking for a draw to the wings, and she has a rock back there that she can come back to and use as backing. She won't need it, I don't think. Oh, maybe. I think it, oh.
It does stick around,
Yeah,
though.
I think it does, yeah. So we have 2 stones to go. This is Team Adam's last rock. And in this case, she's facing 3. And they're really spread out. So she needs to make something go away and stick around. Roll.
They're gonna try to make a lot of granite go away, I think, here.
You think that she's going for a double?
I think she's going for a triple. But I think she's gonna, if the triple is close, I think she jams on
those rocks on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
You're brushing her line. She's...
Roll it over, roll it over, roll it over.
Whoa.
Okay, it's not terrible.
That's not a bad shot. I mean,
it is a more precise shot that now needs to be played.
Yeah. There's a little space between the shot red stone and the blue stone, so...
But I don't think... I don't know if you can stick around for third shot.
It may roll out.
It'll most likely roll out.
So this again is very precise. This end has been really an exciting end. Just because the everything's changed so much from the start to finish on this end. Right down to the last skipped stones. Oh, that one is curling. They're trying to hold it. It's curling it. She might have it, though. I think they're... and as you said, Stephen, that was the risk of rolling out.
So with that...
Wow.
Team Quillian takes their first lead of the game, going up 6-5 here after 7. So just some updates as well, folks. Our game is rolling right along, and it's because it's been such a defensive game. Our game is about half an end ahead of everybody else, but some of the updates that can come in from this is we have a tied game at 6 apiece. On sheet A, Team Como responding to Team Gaines is 3 in 5 with a 3 in 6. And then the Sarah Malay rink from Curl Moncton leads 5 to 3 over the Team Foresight rink from the Capital Winter Club. Sarah stealing ends 5 and 6. So still a tightly contested game right there. And then of course here on sheet B, we've been watching all along, and this has been a battle of the heavyweights trading blows, as I've said before, and it's been a very tight game.
So it looks like Team Adams is trying to utilize that center guard to draw in behind, but it looks light unless they can drag it. And they do. That ice is pretty consistent, Steve. I'm getting 26 seconds on that from hog line to finish.
Okay.
I think Byrne would be happy. Oh, wow. Credit to the brushers on that one. Well, that was a really good shot. And I got 15-5 on that for the draw to top 4.
I don't really want to touch it yet, by the looks of it.
Yeah, they're thinking it's a bit heavy. Giving it time to work, maybe to take it behind. Yeah. And it slides through. Oh. Yeah.
Of course, everybody is kind of gun shy a little bit with the no tick rule that is in play now. So maybe seeing that guard out there, knowing that I can't tick it or things will go a little awry for everybody. So throwing that extra weight just to make sure that it does not hit the guard.
And that blue guard is touching center line. And it looks like they're trying to put another guard in here, in between. You need this to finish a little bit. And it does. That's nice rock. So now Team Adams is going to peel that guard. It looks like it's hanging out there. I don't know. Oh. Yeah.
A very, very unfortunate miss. Just started it out, I think, on release, and it just never came back. So, Sylvie looking to throw up a center guard.
We're having a chat about the location. So they want that one to cross center line. So there's a little stagger there. Make it harder for the run back, or
They're
peel?
trying not necessarily staggered, just having that second center guard up there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that actually worked.
Impressive.
That was a good shot.
And fist bumps there at the back end.
Yeah. That was a nice recovery from the other shot. Bounce back. They're going to try and tuck another one in.
The important thing about that previous shot is the one on the forefoot has been removed. So Team Quillian trying to replace it. And this one just doesn't have the steam, doesn't have the gusto to get there.
And they haven't curled much on this side of the ice.
No,
so.
they have not.
Yeah. So are you surprised they chose that turn? Would they have been better to have gone the other way, do you think?
Well, they chose that turn because of where that red stone landed after being thrown.
Mm-hmm.
So that it would the rock thrown would have the ability to get buried. No.
Just needs to clear their own front guard, and it
Got
does.
it by one.
Oh,
Do they get the
and
hit and roll?
what a shot!
And
Beautiful
there you go.
shot.
And that's where they want it to go.
And now that red guard is doing its job with shot rock. Now they're going to the other side. And we are in the 8th end, so it's closing in here, so they really need to Team Adams needs to score with Hammer.
This one drawing to the back button.
Yeah. Nice shot.
So just needing to follow them down.
There's still room on the button, though, to come to that.
Absolutely. And that is the call.
Yeah. They know this path as well. And they're not touching it, though. They're hoping it'll work. They need to be patient to get it, let it curl and do its work.
I think it's still a little warm.
Yeah. Didn't come up for them as much as they were hoping.
I think it's still a shot stone, though.
Yeah.
But it does leave a big pocket. So looking to play back 4 weight.
And tuck right in between, right up in front of their own blue. Are they looking to tap the red, do you think, Stephen?
Yes, they are.
And roll just a little wee roll over.
Little roll, yeah.
Like a
Still,
little flop.
and use
Yeah.
that whole area as a
Mm-hmm.
pocket.
That is curling on them.
Does this?
Got to get it by. And they do. Ooh. Papers it. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. Okay. Fully buried?
Over buried. There is the pocket there to still cover the pin.
Mm-hmm. So Team Adams is likely going to try to follow that down. What is their goal for this shot?
Their goal
That's
is to
tricky.
sit right in that pocket, probably bump it back an inch, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot.
So again, are we looking at back 4 weight?
Probably back 4.
Yeah. So precise. But these are really exciting shots.
Oh yeah.
I love watching these.
I'm glad I'm up here watching it and not having to throw it.
Yeah.
And curler down as Jacqueline slips.
Ooh, no.
This one's close. This one's close.
All you got, everybody. Wow. Look at it finish. Oh,
And
wow.
another big shot.
What an amazing
big
shot.
shots in a row.
Amazing.
And I think it's too red to boot.
So they're having a bit of a chat about what to do next. And oh, have they called a timeout, or are they just having a chit chat? I didn't see them call a timeout.
I haven't seen them call it yet.
Yeah, they may want to though. Oh no, maybe not. Just all getting on the same page.
I mean, they do have a lot of time banked.
Mm-hmm.
Like this game, like everybody else is just starting the 8th end, and they're about to finish it.
And she knew exactly where she wanted to put that broom. There was no hesitation at all. So with that ice, Stephen, what weight is she throwing, do you think? Back 8?
Probably back 12, back line.
12, back line, yeah.
I think they've identified that red is sitting shot, so this is to remove that second red stone and make it more difficult for them to score their 2. And a big scrub here. They're by the guard, easily by the guard.
Ooh.
And that was the call.
Yeah. Another nice shot. Really well executed.
So can they get in there in the side for 2? Can you slice? This is interesting.
Yeah.
Can you slice that blue one that they just threw in to the red one that's sitting on the button to remove those two blue stones that it's nestled up against to sit 2 or 3?
Yeah, the blue rock actually is a bit problematic, the one on the right-hand side of Shot Rock.
Where does that back blue one go? That's my question. I think they're just playing the same thing that they threw. Judging from the brush positioning.
So they are sitting 1 right now. So this is a shot to score 2 and take the lead. I have to say these curlers are really evenly matched. I mean, both of these teams are just so remarkable. This looks like to me it's moving. No.
Yeah. No.
So we have a tie now.
With that, we do have a tie. 6 apiece with 2 ends left to play. And good evening and welcome back to the 2025 Women's Provincial Curling Championship. We're here at the Heather Curling Club in beautiful St. Andrews, New Brunswick. We are in the B qualifier. Just to kind of give you a recap of what's gone on so far this weekend. In the A qualifier division, we saw Melissa Adams beat Sylvie Quillian to claim the A division. And then right now we are watching the B division happen with the 2 teams again that met in the A all tied up as we see that rock kind of come close to the center line. So that is going on right now, and on the 2 sheets beside them we have the C qualifiers going on. So on sheet A we have Justine Como and Sarah Gaines playing each other. Right now Sarah Gaines is up 7-6 after 7 ends of play. And then over on sheet C we have Team Sarah Millay up 5-4 over Team Melody Forsyth. Of course, the 2 winners of those games move on into their journey to try to represent New Brunswick at the 2025 Scotty Tournament of Hearts. Unfortunately, the losers of these games, their journey is done tonight. And then, of course, coming up in a couple weeks' time, we do have the 2025 New Brunswick Men's Tankard at the Capital Winter Club. That's January 29th to February 2nd. That will be our next broadcast as well.
Saturday night karaoke.
Back on our game over here. Again, all tied up.
And that last draw just over curled on them, unfortunately, for Team Adams. It peeked out the other side. Skinnied the guard. Came awfully close to the guard. And this one is curling too. This is
That one's all over the center guard.
oh.
But it didn't move it.
So, Stephen, with the no-tick rule, explain how that works, because they did touch it and they did move it, but it's not out of play.
No, it did not leave the center line area. So if that was on the line, which I really don't think it was, but if it was on the line, you can kind of move it down the line. You just can't remove it off the line.
Right. Okay. So it's entirely possible that it wasn't touching, maybe.
Yeah, correct.
It's hard to see from this vantage point, but yeah.
And they do have tools out there if it does come into question with the officials, and it's a simple little T-square, and they run it down the line and say, yep, it's on, or nope, it's not, and play continues on. We went from a game that at one point was, and yes, we're using carpentry tools, but a lot of our measuring devices were carpenter close, and now we have micrometers and 6-foot biter bars, and we're using T-squares to measure not only our T-line, or not our T-line, our center line for the no-tick rule, and the hog line to make sure that if it's in or out, or the back line if it's in or out.
Yes. And then the draw to the button uses
and the draw to the button, we're now using lasers to triangulate, to get the exact center, and this one's going to jam on the back one there. So we've really gone from carpenter close to machinist close. So
lots of new technology. Oh.
And the other night too.
At this point, though, they're in the ninth end. Sometimes the ice will change a little bit at this point.
So oftentimes the ice technicians are good at making ice for 8 ends, and then sometimes it doesn't last for 10 ends. Oftentimes too, you'll see bodies leave the ice, and the ice conditions will change because the humidity out there has also changed. So that all plays into it. I don't foresee us having any issues here tonight.
Yeah.
That was dirty. That was dirty. That was dirty. That's happened all.
So Team Adams nicely here for this end, and they do not have hammer, and it looks like Team Quillian is going to remove one or both of those stones, I'm thinking, out front of the house. And that is curling. And run
Looking
back.
at the run back. They were trying the double.
Yeah, the run double, or the run, just the double.
Just the double.
Yeah, and that just curled up on them too much. Or sorry, didn't curl enough.
Just cover score and say and. Just get some paper numbers.
So they're just going to replace that stone?
Yep.
And this is curling nicely. It's finishing for them. Settling in there. Pretty much right to her broom.
I think that's right where the... I think that's in a better spot.
There's a lot of activities now at these national events. And I overheard somebody talking about the karaoke at the Tankard.
Oh, yeah, yes.
So they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah. Bring in some, yeah, the Capital Winter Clubs, they're bringing in DJ Fat Beats.
He's right here.
For entertainment on Saturday night.
We're doing a plug for you. Well, I think that's great fun. I mean, lots of. I'm seeing that with the Grand Slam too. That they're doing a lot of fun things.
They
like
do
bowling.
They do yeah, at the national level. There's a lot of entertainment and things that the host committees do for the fans, kind of to entertain them between draws and get them kind of as close to the action as they can get without actually stepping on the ice. And sometimes they do get to step on the ice towards the end when the outer sheets aren't being used and it's human curling with inflatable tubes and pushing people down the ice. So Sylvie changing up her strategy here, trying to draw in around.
You're brushing that one hard. I think we're looking at a little bump, a little raise on her own blue there. Oh, nice little angle.
Little angle advancement.
Very nice.
Doesn't quite get shot out of it,
No.
but it does get it close. I think the center guard is still your best option.
If you're Team Adams, you
If you're Team Adams, yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you are trying to steal the end.
And that would be their goal, or I don't know.
It honestly, it depends on what you as a team are comfortable with.
What have you seen with that team? Do you think they're comfortable with that?
6 in one, half a dozen the other, because they had to steal this afternoon in order to be here in the 10th end, and they did. They were tied coming home without hammer and stole the final end from Justine Como. So
it's in their toolbox. They
yeah. So myself, I would be okay with being down 1. Statistics kind of are in your favor if you are down 1 and converting with for your 2.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen with the box score that really scoring outside of having hammer has not kind of been happening.
What's the call here, do you think? Looking at where the broom is located.
They're looking to plug that hole.
Left of center line.
Yeah.
This is looking good. Might overcurl a smidge.
Overcurl a smidge.
Oh,
but it does
did.
block that blue, so
Yeah. That really curled for them, yeah. So ideally, Stephen, they wanted something between those, the center line and the blue.
A little more to the right, but
Yeah.
not. I wouldn't say a whole lot more. But this does force Sylvie to go further out into the wings. Or they're looking at coming through the hole that way. So
They're going to have a chat about it.
the call here, of course, is whatever you're comfortable with. I think the draw is the call. It's just what one you want to go with.
So they have to navigate the port if they go. If they don't want to go way out, they have to navigate that port or promote their blue. If they opt for that, that's one option, and then the other option is going way out and hoping to get enough of the 4 foot and tuck in.
It's the 4 foot's the call. It's just again.
How do you get there?
How do you get there? Like,
yeah.
So I think they're going outside in, which is kind of the natural feel for this.
Lots of rocks in play in this end.
As opposed to everything.
Still has room to get by. It's starting to move though now. Oh wow, credit to the brushers.
Gotta get it over there.
Yeah, they do. It's got to finish. Oh.
Okay.
Wow, what a great draw shot.
I think it's shot.
It does look like it is shot, yeah. Excellent shot.
Melissa looking to navigate the port.
And now she has to be very careful because if she navigates the port, you mean to get at shot rock?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's looking to play the bump and bounce it out.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So her mate's sort of giving us an indication of where that rock is going to go. Coming with the out turn. That's a really small area, but not impossible. But there are a lot of rocks out there. So this rock, in my estimation, is going to be the sweepers will have to be really involved in this shot. Well, she's tightened up her ice. What weight do you think she's throwing?
That I'm not 100% sure.
suggesting it's up, but it is curling. So they're holding it. They're trying to get it through. It's a big line call here. Oh my gosh. Oh, they have to really, really run. Oh. The shooter stays around though.
And it rolls in, I think,
Oh,
for shot stone.
wow. So beautiful, quiet wait to salvage, to save that shooter. Amazing shot, really, when you think about it being plan B. But what she also did with that shot, even though she didn't make the shot she called, she actually opened it up so that that rock is now accessible unless they cover it. But can you see which one is shot? Do you think it's blue or red?
I think Sylvie has indicated that it's red.
That it is red. Okay.
This is, and she's checking to see if it's there, because if she noses this is a hit for 3.
Ooh, yeah. So she has to navigate a board on the other side, and we haven't seen much go in that direction. We've seen a few draws go down that way, but not a lot of. But there is room to get there. Another precise shot. She almost has to skinny that red guard out there.
She's
going by.
She's got to. I think she's got to skinny the blue guard. I think if she gets by the blue guard, she's got it made. It's that high blue guard that first comes into play that you gotta worry about.
So is she throwing the in or the out turn?
She's throwing the out turn.
Out turn. Okay.
So counterclockwise rotation.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, this is big.
And I think that was picked up right away.
Right
to hold
away.
this straight. So I think they're on the inside.
They are on that red rock. Oh, just missed the other one.
So I think we're gonna get our money's worth here of a measure. No. No, they said that it was 1, I think. So a miss by Melissa Adams turns fortuitous for her as it somehow rolls into the 4-foot area, and they are able to steal their first point of the game.
Well, that was a really exciting end.
That really was. So we're going to come right back here, and we're going to call the 10th end, and hopefully we'll have a B qualifier winner. If not, we'll play the 11th. Good evening and welcome back to the 2025 Women's Provincial Curling Championship here at the Heather Curling Club in beautiful St. Andrews, New Brunswick. We are in end number 10. We have Team Melissa Adams from the Capital Winter Club versus Team Sylvie Quillian from Curl Moncton, duking it out here on Sheet B for the B qualifier. A lot of B's here tonight. And we saw Sylvie kind of fluke out into a stolen point, trying to maintain that momentum, and they start at the end early, put up the center guard. Sylvie tried to put in the corner guard, and they did that. This rock from Kendra just over curling a little bit, so poking out the other side, allowing Sylvie to play the hit and roll with Katie's final stone of the end. And instead of getting the hit and roll to the left, it hits and rolls to the right.
Yeah, it really curled up there. I was thinking they were flirting with that guard a bit. I'm not sure whether it's touching center line. They had a look at it.
Both skips have taken a peek at it. So Kayla Russell here, big scrub from the Jacqueline and Kendra, making sure, getting rid of this blue one.
Also looking for the roll in behind the guard, but just peeks out. It's not fully guarded, so they're going to trade rocks here for a bit, maybe. And they're jumping on that one. Now trying to get it to curl over. Oh, a nice rock.
Two lefties in this game, one for each team.
And they're just cleaning that, so it must be good. Yeah, and it is. So nose hit on that. Not too concerned about getting behind cover on that shot. They seem to be content with the nose hit.
I think as the stones kind of work their way up in front of the tee line, the need to get behind cover will be ever present.
So just sitting close to the tee line, just barely in front of it. The last one though was straddling it, so, and that one did have a little bit of a roll. No. Lots of room to get by that guard.
By the guard, curled it,
and
and
no
tried,
roll.
nope.
No.
And just as we were saying, they were.
So Team Quinlan is looking for the roll on this next shot. The pace of play is very, very fast right now in this last end. Trying to get it.
I look at across the other two sheets, and sheet A is just playing N9, just about to finish it up, and sheet C is it leads third or second stones of the 10th end.
This last rock did not curl in towards the center. It went out to the wings, towards the wings. So they're trying to, both teams are trying to get a nice roll in behind cover, behind the guard. We're going to get a well-worn path down there pretty soon. This one is curling a little bit. Yep. And it's going to go be.
It's going to roll and roll and roll out.
Yeah, it's not in play. Yeah.
So an opportunity here for Sylvie to try to get her point. Her 2 points, actually. First, drawing in behind her corner guard.
And they're having to go down a new path. They've been on the other side of the ice, running them back and forth with the hits. And so this draw, it's looking good. Need the brushers, everything they've got. Tucks in there nicely. Nice draw. So Team Adams is trying to make a decision whether or not to go after that last rock, or to chase that down, or to, or maybe to hit and roll, or to do the draw.
Yeah, I'd even entertain drawing around what was just thrown.
With the ice that she's taking, my guess is she's coming in for the hit and roll.
Yes, that is, yeah. And being a right-hander, this will be a little. You'll see more of this blue stone that was thrown than what you think you can see.
Okay. They need to get by that guard. He gets by. Lots of room there. Don't know if they've saved their shooter. Does not look like they did, unfortunately.
A little bit of confusion as to why maybe they were being called on.
Yeah, because it had lots of room as it went by that guard.
Maybe scared of it snapping.
Yeah, because sometimes, especially with the late curl, sometimes they really curl at the very end. They finish big on this ice. Maybe the nerves kicking in a little bit.
A little bit.
We're down to skip stones now. Oh, looks like they're looking for a timeout.
All right, so we got a timeout here.
Have a little. So putting it back in the same place maybe, or option A, option B, putting it on the other side, splitting the house.
No matter where you put it, if you put it open, she's going to hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big thing.
And really what it comes down to is, I mean, apart from, their strategy, I would think that Sylvie has to be comfortable with the shot, whichever one she decides to make. So with that ice, it looks like she might be drawing in behind the center guard. Do you think? Or not?
No, not that wide. They're looking to go like top 12.
Top 12?
Top 12.
And leave it open?
Leave it open, yeah.
Mhm. And this is her first stone, and she does have last rock. And they are brushing that. It's looking a little light.
She's just got to get a piece of the paint, though. She's got 12 feet to play with.
Yeah. They are brushing it hard. All right. Wow. So now Team
Time
Adams
out.
taking a timeout.
So, team back talking with Coach Alex Robuchon. Melissa and Alex, of course, mixed doubles duo. Won the mixed doubles provincials back in December, represented New Brunswick and the Capital Winter Club at the mixed doubles Olympic trials in Liverpool, Nova Scotia.
Mhm.
So a lot of faith and trust between those two.
What's the call, Stephen? Do you think they're drawing?
They are
Behind?
drawing to the top four,
Mhm.
burying
Behind that center guard.
behind that center guard.
Yeah. Lots of room. But when it starts to curl, it moves. Just keeping a close eye on it.
Right where they wanted it to
Oh,
go.
beautiful shot.
Beautiful shot.
Mhm. So it looks like Team Quinlan is looking at a hit here,
This is a run. This is
running her own into the shot stone.
yeah. And should everything sit around, it will be a shot for the win.
Right. She wants to score 2 here. We've seen a lot of rocks go down this side of the ice as well already. So they know what it's going to do. they're brushing right away.
A big brush from Katie.
Big scrub there.
Big scrub. I think it's going to be on the inside.
Oh, no. Oh, that's unfortunate.
And with that, we have the winner of the B final, B qualifier, I should say, Team Melissa Adams. They are victorious after 10 ends of play with an 8-6 victory. Coming down to final stones here in 10. Wouldn't expect anything less from these two. And so this kind of clears up the playoff bracket as well. Can't fully say that we're going to be here on Sunday. We'll have to see how tomorrow's C bracket plays out. Over on some of the other sheets as well, as before we leave our broadcast, the games are 9-8 for Como over Gaines, and it is 7, and my GUI is not working. There we go. It is 7-5 over on sheet C. And so, of course, the games that are going on those two sheets will be for to carry on in the C division. The losers, unfortunately, their weekend is over, and it does look like we have handshakes over on sheet C, with Team Foresight conceding the 10th end. So with that, Team Malay continues on into the C division. Team Foresight, unfortunately, their weekend is done. And we still have a few stones left over on sheet C. Heather, what did you think of tonight's game?
Oh, I thought it was exciting. Excellent curling. I mean, they were evenly matched, and I was. They played a really fast game. They were super decisive about their shots and their calls, and I was really impressed with. I mean, both teams really. It could have gone either way, and it was just really fun to watch. These curlers are amazing, and it's just such a treat to see them curling in our rink. Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
So we'll be back here tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. We will be covering action on sheet A as teams now begin their battle through the rest of the C qualifier to see who will represent New Brunswick at the 2025 Scotty Tournament of Hearts. See you all back.